Was good, was good, was good. Been an interesting couple of days. Interesting, let's say few days, because it has been a few days. We've actually got a lot going on, and the reason why would probably be because the United States, changed their H-1B visa process. What makes that actually a very big deal is the fact that it wasn't expected. Now, some people are saying that, it's because it's a sign that our educational system isn't as good as it used to be. We don't have enough kids in STEM, all this good stuff, blah, blah, blah. On certain levels, I can actually believe that. But on other levels, because the H-1B visa was meant to bring in highly skilled individuals. But what's being addressed is the fact that the H-1B visa process has been plagued with not so highly skilled roles. I don't know if you know this, but like I was saying the other day, there's nothing special at Java, right? There are lots of people in the United States that can write Java. There are lots of people in the United States that can write C#. There are lots of people in the United States that can do a lot of the jobs that actually are out there. When you're talking about those jobs where they're stealing people from one AI company to go over to another AI company and they're cutting $100 million checks and blah, 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 blah. I totally understand. But that's a different space. Totally understand this space. This is what the H-1B visa was meant to be used for. However, this space down here, that's not what it was meant to be used for. And you have companies out there that have thousands of H-1B visa people working for them. And in some cases, just hundreds, but still just hundreds. Just saying, we should be paying attention to things like this. And when I look at, the walk back of the H-1B visa process, I'm kind of like, I understand. But I think there should be more definition to the H-1B visa. And truth be told, I don't know that it needs more definition as much as it needs enforcement. It shouldn't be that you can walk into the office and be like, oh, I need an H-1B visa so I can hire a project manager. I need an H-1B visa so I can hire a freaking secretary. Yeah, no. Your startup that's looking for certain talent is going to be hard to find. Yes, absolutely agree. But other talent? Yeah, no. Things like that need to be enforced. And those are the differences that I'm seeing right now. And I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Something else that I'm noticing today, guess what? Bitcoin's down a lot. The whole tech industry is down a lot. Crypto space down a lot. Not tons, just pull back off the news, right? People taking profit. It's really what it winds up being. Yes, I have the red light up. Don't worry, don't stress. There's tons of stuff out there that can actually make us smile and give us a lot to talk about and a lot to actually feed the opportunity for us to actually make money. Those are the facts. Those are really the facts. So today, what do we have? We have U.S. facing $2 trillion disaster. Why? Tariffs are just a drop in the bucket. They're not answering everything that they thought the tariffs would answer. And that could be a little bit of a problem for people. Yeah, the U.S. deficit hits $2 trillion as tariffs cover just 10% of monthly shortfalls. Despite record tariff spending outpaces revenue, raising fears of economic instability. Everybody running around talking about, oh, the economy is great. The economy is great. I'm sitting back and I'm like, whose economy? What economy? Where is that economy? Now, do I believe in the U.S. economy? Do I believe that we can come back from just about anything? Yeah, sure. If it's managed properly. Tariffs coming out of nowhere, but let's call it what it is. Taxes coming out of nowhere. Soybean farmers are destroyed. I think they lost I think they were saying $12 billion this year because China's not buying. It's either 12 or 2, but it's in the billion area. Right? And I sit there and I just kind of go, yeah, good job with those tariffs because that's really making a dent. And I want you to really pay attention to something. Tariffs are not making a dent. Taxpayers are being told you must pay more. You must pay more. So food prices soaring. Almost everything you want to buy, prices have gone up. And I expect prices to go up for a little while now. Why? Well, we're not bearing the brunt of those tariffs. So that's one problem. $2 trillion disaster. Shocking truth behind behind crypto's fall and stocks rise. As Bitcoin and Ethereum plummeted, they didn't plummet. They dropped a little because people wanted to collect some money. They wanted to make some money, but it caused massive liquidations. So yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, okay, I see you. And why do I say it like that? Why do I say it with a smile? Because to me, these are opportunities. I do my homework every day. I invest in myself every day, several times a day. I kind of break it up, right? But because of that, what I can see is a lot better. I can see when things are happening. I can see how things are happening. I can start to connect the dots and I can say, oh man, if I get in right here, I might be able to do something. So what am I seeing right now? I'm seeing the crypto market down. I'm seeing tech down. I'm seeing the Dow down, implied opens, that is. So what do I see? Opportunities. So I'm out here trying to figure out in which place will I make the most money? With which coin, which stock, which ETF will I make the most money if I get in at this point right here? That's what I'm looking for. Am I using my dry powder right now? No. This is normal DCA stuff. Normal, cleaning up of portfolio money. Not dry powder. Dry powder still sitting on the side, waiting. Just waiting. Real estate market is still reeling. Why? Well, homes been sitting on the market for a long time. People still think their houses can go for way high. A friend of mine was telling me that there's a house near them in Wisconsin that's going for, it's a 4-family, right? So it's a multifamily home going for twice as much as what they originally bought it for only 5 years ago. They bought it for 200. Now they want 400. Are you serious? In that area, you can't charge the rents necessary to sustain a $400,000 purchase. So my calculations tell me, my risk framework tells me, nah. Now, if I was being nice, I would walk in and I would say, okay, great. You bought it for 200. You had it for this long. You had it rented 80% for the past 5 years. These are the going rates on the, on the market. This is how I come up with my prices. This is how much money you were making, blah, blah, blah. You haven't done anything to the house. Maybe if I'm nice, I'll offer you $250. Maybe, extremely nice. I'll probably walk in the door and offer you $250. And you will lose your freaking mind because you'll be like, I'm only going to make $30,000 off this house. Nah, you made all that money off the rent. And now you're adding another $30,000 to $50,000 on top of that. Greed and ego. Your house has been sitting on the market for a while, and now you want to cry about it. I'll pay you in Bitcoin. I'm just saying, I'm looking at these things and I'm kind of paying attention to what's going on and how it's happening. So that's something I'm paying attention to. In 2025, stagnant labor market. Woo, it's early in the morning. Is leaving young workers in a bit of a problem area. Young workers, minorities, and recent graduates stranded as companies, avoid hiring and are having layoffs. And what does that stem? Leveraging AI, and that's right, leveraging H-1B visas. Something else that's going on, call it out, offshoring jobs. So if they don't get the H-1B visa, they just offshore the job or outsource. But it's really not having a job here. I'm concerned with the number of jobs that are leaving the United States. And it's not that other countries, and I want to get this straight, it's not that other countries are coming and taking those jobs. It's American companies sending them out. And anybody in the auto workers unions, anybody going through that, you actually know. Manufacturing unions, you've seen this before. Manufacturing, offshored. People being flown over to teach people how to do what they do. And now we're the recipients of that. That's right. We have car manufacturers coming here teaching us how to build cars. Scratch your head. So yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting to see these things. Not to mention, just there are people that are saying our educational system is not that great. It is what it is. But these are opportunities to fix ourselves and really step up our game. We're not that far off. So let's not get it twisted. We're not that far off. Can we do better? Of course we can do better. There's always an opportunity to do better. We just need to start moving now. And as for AI and our kids graduating college and not finding jobs, we're probably going to have to get a little creative. We're probably going to see a lot of new businesses open up. And not for nothing, well, the country's going to have to consider universal basic income. I know that's a curse to a lot of people, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Something else that happened that really caught attention was Hayes. He's the one of the founders of BitMEX. Went out and sold all of his hype, the token hype. Sold all of it so he could buy a Ferrari Testarossa. And he has said, well, Astor is coming up, but he sold it all, right? And it was about $5.1 million worth of hype tokens, despite predicting a 126x surge. Now, I want you to stop and think about that. He came out and said he's expecting a 126x surge for hype. The number itself is ridiculous. Think about what would have to happen for hype to have a 126x surge. And then he turns around and sells all of his hype. Now you know why I don't buy into a lot of people and what they say. Yakety schmackety. Yak yak. I don't feel like hearing that. This is why I do my own research. I know my entries and exits, and I absolutely invest deliberately. It's a very big deal that you get into that habit. It's a hugely big deal because that right there, tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how it makes sense that you would sell all your hype. You would sell all of a token that you yourself have said you expect a 126x move. Yeah, I don't think so. Something that surprised, we all know that Bolivia is not doing all that great economically, right? However, it is up and coming. Bolivia's automotive sector is embracing Tether's USDT stablecoin for car purchases, driven by economic instability and inflation. Major brands like Toyota, Yamaha and BYD now accept USDT for payment. Let that wash over you. I saw that and it was like a bucket of cold water hitting me. Remember what I said about brands and retail starting to accept crypto? This is what I mean. I'm starting to see ideas and little flashpoints where it's going to happen. Let's try it out in this small market. Let's try it out in that small market. Next thing you know, it's everywhere. There will be a point when crypto is ubiquitous for purchases, regular everyday purchases. I say it all the time. Bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper on a roll, no ketchup. Bustelo coffee on the side. When I can go inside, boop, boop, and pay for it like that with some crypto, oh yeah, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Why? Because they get their money instantly and they can hand me my stuff and I get the heck out onto the next customer. They don't have to worry about settlements until the end of the month and then actually closing at the end of the month and then settlement. They don't have to worry about all that. 30 to 60 days for them to actually get their money. It's a rolling wait period. Makes you wonder why you have to wait for so long. It's a rolling wait period. Not with crypto. That transaction starts right there, ends right there. Everybody's happy. Just saying. These are some of the reasons why I look at this. Now, Coinbase, Brian Armstrong's out there talking about, we want to be a super app. Okay, that's nice. While he's out there screaming that he wants to be a super app and they want to do a whole bunch of stuff for people in the financial services area, I'm still looking, and not to say that they're not, they are. But I will say this. I think Kraken is making better moves in that space. They're not out there yapping about, oh, super app this and your mama that. No. They just go out there and they just continue to put together all of the pieces that a super app would have. Like what, pray tell? They're a bank. They've got a crypto exchange. They have a stock exchange. Yeah. They have a crypto exchange, and they just bought NinjaTrader. They have 2 trading platforms. I believe they just bought a broker-dealer. There's a whole bunch of stuff that Kraken is doing around the world that would set them up well to be a super app. Set them up well. And what I'm saying to people around the world, you want to know what I noticed? Nobody's talking about financial advisors. That old school way of having 50 million financial advisors, yeah, that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap. Do I need certain financial advisors? And I've been on this tirade for a while. Do I need financial advisors when I hit certain levels? Kind of, sort of. But I think those kind of financial advisors are more like matchmakers than they are financial advisors. They can introduce me to things that I otherwise would not have access to. That's different than a financial advisor that's really getting into my finances and helping me do things. I'm telling you, most people really want to be hands-on. It's not that they won't listen to other people, but they want to be hands-on with the management of their value. And they're getting their information from all over the place. So I think the traditional financial advisor role, I think that's kind of going by and by. What else do we have? Vietnam's bank purge. Vietnam's 2025 bank account purge of 86 million accounts sparked a surge in Bitcoin adoption. It really did. It pushed Bitcoin adoption majorly. So when I look at this, again, I'm looking at how crypto is kind of just popping up where there's a void. You killed 86 million bank accounts. Mind you, one of the big things around the world right now is how many people are bankless. That's right, bankless. People that don't use banks. Cash and carry. Just saying, these are things that I pay attention to. I'm kind of like, Bitcoin dropping below 112. Industry dropping. I mean, I think, who is it? Ethereum is below 4,200. Yeah, to me, these are opportunities. Massive opportunities. Massive opportunities. And people sit there and they kind of go, Eddie, why would you think this is an opportunity? Have you lost your mind? Liquidations have been happening. Yeah, when I look in the street, I just sit there and just go, I need to get in on this. I need to go make me some money. And then how long will this pullback last? Not long. I don't think it'll be long at all. Will not be long at all. Right? A teen hacker exposed Crypto.com's secret weakness. A Florida teenager allegedly orchestrated a major breach of Crypto.com through phishing and stolen data, revealing critical vulnerabilities in crypto security. The incident linked to the hacker group Scattered Spider highlights the growing threat of cybercrime and the challenges of accountability. Yeah. Crypto.com definitely had a problem. A friend of mine had called me up and said, Eddie, I have a problem. I think Crypto.com, I think I might have been involved in fraud. And we went over a few things and I was like, and Crypto.com is not getting back to you? He's like, yeah. I said, I wonder if that's actually Crypto.com. You should call the FBI. And before he called the FBI, because he was ready to do it, before he called the FBI, what happened? Crypto.com finally got back to him, and supposedly he did something wrong to his account, and they locked him out of his account. His phone, his computer, logging in, he had everything that he needed to do so, and they locked him out. Big lesson. I do not trust crypto exchanges. I have accounts on different exchanges, but my value is not maintained on those exchanges. Those are custodial wallets. I don't like custodial wallets. I don't need you to hold my value. I will hold my own value in my non-custodial wallets. So lesson learned. But that Crypto.com, that's another weakness. You not getting back to your customers in a timely fashion looks like fraud. It's not. It's just piss poor customer service. But it looks like fraud on the other end. And it sends people into a panic. And he didn't have, a small amount of money that he had moved over there. And I was like, it's amazing how you moved your money in and all of a sudden you can't get into your account. That's what made it freaky to us. And I'm like, yeah, that's not the brainiest thing for them to do. Not the brainiest thing for them to do. Let's see, what else is there? Metaplanet is now the 5th largest holder of Bitcoin among publicly traded companies, holding about 630, and it's because of their latest purchase of $632 million worth of Bitcoin. Wow. Metaplanet's not playing games. They are absolutely not playing games. I wonder who's going to come in now and start buying Bitcoin. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let me do that. Get my notes out of the way. All right, so we're going to stop here. Dow implied open 137 points down. S&P futures implied open 17 points down. NASDAQ futures implied open 72.50 points down. Oil down 0.31 and the U.S. 10-year down 0.01. Very interesting. And yeah, this is the big story. Big tech companies, foreign governments scramble after Trump slaps $100,000 fee on H-1B visas, and they just walked it back. So, no, we didn't mean everybody. We didn't mean everybody. We only meant a few people. We only meant the new ones. Okay, let's get it right next time. Let's get it right next time, because we didn't this time. Now, let's take a look at this week. Do we have anybody reporting that actually means something? Supposedly Costco, Micron Technologies, Accenture, Cintas, AutoZone. Who else? CarMax. Definitely paying attention to CarMax and Costco. Love Costco. Who else do we have? Let's see. Yeah. Nobody else that I'm actually interested in. Not to say that other people aren't interested in some of these companies rather. But then what do we have going on this week that we should be paying attention to? Today, New York Fed speak, St. Louis Fed speak, Stephen Miran Fed speak. That's the new guy, the new Fed governor. Doesn't really yeah. Cleveland President Fed speak, Richmond Fed speak. Today is a Fed speak day, and you should be paying attention. It's going to give you an idea about what their thoughts were with the last cut and where they're looking in the future. Tomorrow, more Fed speak from Michelle Bowman. That's the Fed vice chair. Then you have S&P Flash U.S. Services PMI, S&P Flash Flash Manufacturing PMI. Then Atlanta Fed speak, and Jerome Powell also speaks tomorrow. All ears will be definitely tight-tuned to that. New home sales numbers on Wednesday, and then San Francisco Fed speak. Got more Fed speak. Chicago happening Thursday. Initial jobless claims, GDP third estimate, U.S. trade and balance on goods, advanced retail inventories, durable goods. New York Fed speak. Fed vice chair for supervision Bowman speaks again. Then we have existing home sales. Michael Barr is going to be speaking, Fed governor, so pay attention. Dell Fed President Lori Logan is going to be speaking. You also have San Francisco President Mary Daly's speech. Friday, what do you have? Tom Barkin speaking. He's from the Richmond Fed. Consumer Sentiment Final. Core PCE. PCE Index as well as Core PCE. Then you've got Michelle Bowman speaking. Again, you want to know who's missing from that? Who's not speaking? Yeah, that's right. Miss Cook is not speaking. So I'm paying attention to that as well. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is all the way down to 45. Why? Well, people want their money and they're making money from it. They're pulling out, causing liquidations. I have no issue with it. For me, they're not causing liquidations. They're causing opportunities. Now it's up to us to recognize those opportunities and maybe act. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB 3. Those are the rules we abide by. Total value locked is down to $154.23 billion. We were riding high in the 160s, and now we're down in the 150s. Can you remember just a few weeks ago, we were whining that we weren't in the 150s? Yeah, we've come a long way. That's why I'm not panicked. Now, looking at Bitcoin, look at that huge drop right here. We were operating within these trend lines. And what did Rick Ritchie say? Trend lines are great until they're not. And this is an idea. Look at that. They're not right now. That's a huge drop. A huge drop out of the trend lines. But we're still operating. Pay attention, folks. We're still operating within my band of 109.337 to 123.092. We're still operating within that band. You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, I'm not stressed at all. I'm not stressed at all. I wasn't even stressed when we went below that band. And we did it a couple of times. I'm not worried. I'm not stressed about it. Not a problem. This, again, to me, is an opportunity. And I will be taking advantage of it as such. Looking at the big board, you can see a lot of blood red going on. Hype is down huge. I'd be looking at Hype. I'd be looking at Aster. I'd be looking at Link. Link is a huge opportunity at $21. Doge might be an opportunity for you. SHIB is an opportunity for me. Aave, Ton, HBAR, Hype, Solana, if you're into that kind of thing. SUI, LTC, XLM, Cardano, Avalanche. XRP is deeply below $3. 282. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah, I'd look at that as an opportunity. Ethereum below 4,200. Bitcoin, wow, look at that. It's at 113. Still below 115. Just saying, there are opportunities out there and we should be paying attention. Still, year to date, Bitcoin is doing well at almost 21%. Ethereum is doing well, almost at 26%. Year to date, we're just looking at year to date. Something else I want you to pay attention to. Look at these numbers that these coins are getting. BNB is up huge, well above $1,000, well above $1,000. Telling you, pay attention to some of these coins. I've been telling you not to sleep on some of these coins for a while, and I hope you pay attention because that's the deal. Don't pay such attention. All that noise, that's Stitch. That's just Buddy Boy waking up in the morning. Come here, boy. There you go. There you go. So, looking at the numbers that are here, I'm kind of like, yeah, there are a lot of opportunities. So what am I going to do? Do my own research, know my entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Why am I repeating myself with that every day? Because it makes a big difference. There are a lot of coins out here that can actually give me an opportunity to make money. How fast can I make that money? And how much money can I make? I can't invest in everything, right? I mean, I'd like to, but I can't invest in everything. So which one is going to give me the biggest spread? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Looking at the GMB crypto tracker, let's take a look at the losers. Oof. Farcoin, big loser, down 18 points, got a 2.98 GMB X factor. Brett is down 16.69%, GMB X factor 4.47. Pump.fund is down 14.95%, GMB X factor of 0.46. A lot of people might say, hey, now might be a good time to get in on Pump.fund if that's what you're into. Again, do your own research. Then you've got Trust Wallet that's down 13.53% with a GMBX factor of 1.34. Remember, Trust is involved with Binance, and I'm expecting Trust to do well. So down 13%. I'm looking at opportunities here that are just insane. Then let's see who else. Radium's down 12%. GMB X Factor 5.10. No, I don't think they make it. Who else is there? Curve down 11.6%. 21.08 GMB X Factor. Nope. Let's see. Pudgy Penguins is down 11.32%. GMB X Factor of 1.24. Yes, I do think they make that. Not a problem. Gala is down 11.1%. GMB X Factor 52.26. No, I do not think they'll make that. They got a long way to go. Really long way to go. But gaming is coming back, and that's something that they're good at so long as they clean up all the in-house fighting. Let's see. ZK Sync is down 10.95% with a GMB X Factor of 5.44. Celestia is down 10.75 with a GMB X Factor of 12.81. Jitto is down 10.71% with a GMB X Factor of 2.62. Virtuals is down 10.7% with a GMB X Factor of 3.61. Dog with Hat also down 10.62% with GMB X Factor of 5.07. Lido's down 10.5%. GMB X Factor 5.52. Optimism is down 10%, 10.31%. GMB X Factor 5.81. Floki is even down 10.14% with a GMB X Factor of 3.0. Yeah, I actually do expect a couple of those to do well. Again, do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Your risk framework is not my risk framework. And that's why we might pull the trigger at different times for different things. Understand how your risk framework can work for you is what I would say. Now, let's see who's up. You got things up that I have no idea about. XDC is up, and that's underneath our 5%. So that means right here is where you stop. Everything else, everybody else is just moving sideways or down. That ought to tell you something. That ought to tell you something. Pax Gold. Wow, it's up a little bit. But these are the things I pay attention to in terms of what the crypto space is doing for us. But I look beyond the crypto space when it comes to investment, and I think you should too. This is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes. Definitely smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community. Why? Because we're the only community that cares about how you manage your value. We're the only community that actually wants to help teach each other how to manage our bags and how to grow our bags. And it's a safe space. That's the big deal. That's the one right there. We've got a lot more things coming your way, including a new revamped website. We still pump out news every day. We're pumping out 20 articles a day minimum. That's usually what we're doing. And yeah, everything that I talk about is usually an article on the site. So go get your news. Just saying, go get your news. What else do we have going on? Did you know we're above 23,000 subscribers right now? That's right. 25,000 is right around the corner. Everybody, I'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Crypto Overflow, where I'm sure we will have a lot of exciting conversations. Everybody, I hope you have a great one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.